I see Donovan Mitchell following a similar career trajectory as Giannis.
I got a great question for you because you like this guy, right? Where did Aaron Gordon go?
Went to the Nuggets.
So how does that impact somebody like Michael Porter Jr.? Because that's the first thing I thought of when I heard that trade. Does it clog it up a little bit? Does it take opportunities away from him? Because the first thing I thought of was if I had Michael Porter Jr., I'd be selling him. But I'm curious about what you say.
Well, I've been thinking about these three teams. I think they kind of are in the same bucket. It's the Utah Jazz, the Denver Nuggets, and the Phoenix Suns, right? They're all guys, all teams with kind of star players. Like Jokic is probably the MVP this year, right?
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell is unbelievable. I kind of see, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. Like I see Donovan Mitchell following a similar career trajectory as Giannis had. I really do. I've been thinking about this a lot. He's taken time to develop, but can you not see Donovan Mitchell in 1 to 2 years being an MVP if the team keeps finishing?
Very different game, guys. He's not saying he's going to turn into a Giannis type player. He's just saying the same trajectory,
career trajectory,
and towards an MVP. Player. Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
he's got.
And then the Suns. You have Phoenix. You have Devin Booker, but you also they're not like a true star, so like it's really difficult to know their potential upside. Donovan Mitchell is following a similar career path to Giannis in the sense that he's 24. He's gotten better year after year after year. Came in with some expectations, but barely any, and he's improving. So you could have an MVP season. But to answer your question about Michael Porter Jr., it makes it tough, right? Because you have Jokic, who's like the main guy, and then you have a really solid supporting cast. I'm on the fence. I think that's the best way to put it. And you don't invest when you're on the fence, right? Like it has to be a hell yeah to invest in something. I think that's a really good criteria. Like if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no in investing.
And sometimes you don't know, right? So it's funny because like here I am saying, okay, they're adding a piece like Aaron Gordon, but that's not going to be good for Michael Porter Jr. But at the same time, I've heard so many people say Ja Morant is going to be better when Jaren Jackson Jr. comes back. So how do you determine who gets better when they add a piece and who gets worse? It's very, I guess we'll have to see how they play, how they work together. So
a player like Michael Porter Jr., I will say this from an intangible perspective, sometimes guys like that who've had things fairly easy in their career, they've been number one guys, to come in the way he's come in and be kind of relegated to not getting as many shots as he's used to. Oftentimes it leads to lack of effort. I haven't seen that from the Nuggets. This Nuggets team is really good, and he's playing his role. So this might be one of those things where you watch to buy a dip as a long-term opportunity, right? Like you might believe in him 3, 4, 5 years down the road. There's no reason to rush in now. Watch his market and see if you could get it for 60% on the dollar, 70% on the dollar when someone's not really interested in him, and then make the move. Maybe that's the play with like a Michael Porter Jr. He's young, man.
Nobody thinks like that anymore. Nobody thinks about a 2-year flip. Nobody thinks about, let me buy that card and hold it. Everybody thinks about, let me buy it today and then I'll sell it after the next game.